Hey you, it's me and I am back. Today we're designing Gemini with the help of traits chosen by my lovely followers on Instagram. If you'd also like to be part of the voting for the next Zodiac, don't forget to follow my Instagram at Pampd Illustrations. We've still got 11 character designs to go and I'd love to see you join in on the fun. The voting polls go up on Saturdays and you have the whole day to vote on the traits you think fit best to the Zodiac of the day. Alright, let's check what you guys decided on for this one. Ooh, Gemini's going to be a girl. Okay, I dig it. Her height is in the middle, so normal. Gotcha. Her body is going to be made up of mixes of pyramids and cubes. Okay, we'll see how that ends up looking. I see you guys also like your girls with messy hair. Totally in for it. Hair length about mid, so not too short and not too long. Guess I can pair that up with messy, so it might look shorter than it actually is. We're doing curly. Eye color between blue and green. We're doing slightly darker white skin. And I see you all are into freckles too, because 100 versus 47 people. You guys really love the additional texture of skin. Okay, she's going to be slightly more fancy on the fashion side, whatever that means. And last but not least, you guys voted that she's going to be wearing a ring. I really wanted to add accessories so I could put the zodiac sign on them so they all fit with one another. To start off, I decided to write down all the chosen traits to have an easier time creating her. Writing it down can also cause extra creativity boost, so I'd totally recommend it to anyone when you're trying to come up with fresh ideas. Just write down keywords and see what your brain comes up with. With the traits written down, I start working on her basic shape, having in mind to mix the squares and triangles, giving a perfect shape for her torso. I also decided to give her a sharper chin to go with the shape aesthetic. The pose is straightforward and static to give an easier time designing the features, while the next round, when features are already thought of, it's more dynamic. Always try to make it easier for your brain when creating. Already have the design down? Good. Go into thumbnails to figure out a dynamic pose to express your character in. Still need to figure out the design? Do a basic static pose from reference sheets to first dress up your figure and then worry about the next step. I decided to go for a wild floofy mess of hair, which I think fits the best this character. I was also trying to figure out how to show off she wears a Gemini ring, so I posed her hand towards us. Another fun way to go about posing is to draw the torso first and then draw just the hand, kind of like they're floating, like this. It helps a ton with making poses a lot more dynamic than going straight for the whole arms, as that tends to make posing static. Also, don't be afraid to redo lines and be super sketchy in this phase. Remember, you're still in the design process and nothing needs to be 100% thought out yet. It's all brainstorming. When it comes to clothing, Google and Pinterest are your friends. Take pieces of different clothing and put them together to fit your character. I'd highly recommend Pinterest as a lot of artists use it for reference. And also remember that using reference is to your advantage. You're learning and building a visual library every time you search for new themes. With the second sketch, I have her body and facial design down, so I decided to focus on the pose that would emit her personality. I decided Gemini is more of a spirited, casual type of person, so I drew her in a relaxed sitting pose. It's still fairly loose and sketchy, as it is a brainstorming concept for the final illustration. Here, I focused on her expression, design of her hair, and even a bit on her hands, trying to draw them a bit more sharp to go with main shape. With her design ready to go, it was time to move on to her companion. Oh, did I forget to mention? These zodiacs are going to have puppy companions. This was the main reason I wanted to get into this, as a lot of artists draw zodiacs, but I wanted to incorporate something I really love into it, and so Zodiacs as Dog People was born. I also found a lovely website that tells with which puppy goes each zodiac to have as a reference. On it, it says that Gemini's perfect puppy companion is a golden retriever. To quote the site, "The golden retriever is a stand-up dog and is definitely a complete heartbreaker. Both the Gemini personality and the golden retriever breed are full of fun, affection, as well as being complete comics. This popular breed is the complete embodiment of the Gemini zodiac." What do you think? Do you think this pupper goes well with your zodiac? Tell me in the comments below. I continued on drawing the pupper to get his body shape down. I'll admit I'm a bit rusty drawing animals, so it could have been better, but I'm happy with the result. I started drawing just animals and Pokemon when in elementary school, and then slowly moved away from it to study humans back in high school, so it's really exciting to come back to the theme that initially grew the flame for creating in the first place. With Gemini designed and her puppy companion ready, there was one thing left to be done: thumbnails. Now, when working with thumbnails, a good thing to remember is to sketch loose and big shapes to get down the main shape or composition that you wanted to show, as well as the gesture. Is the character happy and jumping of joy? Are they crouched up and sad? Show it with the main posing. I tend to draw small squares to symbolize the canvas I'll be working on, and then add the grid, the line that goes through the shape to give me rules where to pose my character. If you want to learn more about this, search up the rule of thirds or the golden ratio. I use that and just kind of pre-transform it into a square. It does its job perfectly. I wanted to express both the character's energy, so I tried a couple of different compositions. But in the end, I kind of went for the initial one. Gemini and her doggo chilling and having a good time. I loved how the main shape looked, given it was a pyramid, which also works with our main shape. With the thumbnail chosen, off we go into the digital world. I start off filling the canvas with a light tone to make it healthier for the eyes. Next step is to create a composition. Draw the base shape and then fill in the characters. In this step, it's not that important to draw everything in detail, just to get the main action down of what you wanted to express. And when that's done, it's time for a new layer to put in the crisp, clean line work. It helps if you have two characters to also have two layers for the line art, so that you can finish the shape and then erase wherever the two characters intertwine. I tend to do long, smooth lines and then delete them where the lines aren't needed anymore. When the line work was done, I wasn't too happy with how Gemini's body was looking, so I sketched an additional layer to fit the organic shapes more naturally and do it again. It's better to fix when you can than leave it broken until the final result. With the body fixed, I also redid the line art so that it's really crispy and clean and ready for colors. I actually did the coloring for this piece a bit differently than my other ones, as the character was to have a slightly darker skin. With white characters, I just leave the canvas white and build on top of it, but that wouldn't work for this one, also because the Zodiac series were to have a full background color. So I started with filling the characters with white first, and then building the colors on each layer. For example, I had one layer for Gemini and one for her golden retriever. Each had additional layers that were clipped to the main one. When it comes to putting down colors, I press very gently to achieve the texture look in my works. I also use a very textured brush for the same reason. It took me a long time to find a brush that I like, so don't worry if you're still in the progress of finding it. You'll find the one, just keep looking. Picking the colors is also a really fun process. The only thing you have to have in mind is to choose in the midsection and not too close to the saturation. In this case, the blue was chosen very unsaturated, so it would work well with her skin and not take too much attention on itself. This of course depends if you want a certain color to pop. You'll add some intensity, but for this piece I just wanted every part of this piece to work together in harmony. I added very soft shading, and then the final part, the lighting. I started adding the white lighting a couple of months back, and I really like how it makes my artwork more alive. Usually I decide on the side where the light will come from, and then leave pieces of light in those areas, aka make it white. That only doesn't do the trick, however. I still need to add a slightly colored light between the main color and white to really make it feel alive. If you ever notice how this type of light affects objects, you will notice the mid area as well. With the colors all done, I colored the line art to work with the colors of the characters, and we're done! Click the like button if you like how Gemini turned out. It's definitely made me go out of my comfort zone, and I'm already excited to find out what you decide for how Cancer looks like. Remember to follow me on Instagram to help me design these characters by voting, and for this round, I'd like to thank these wonderful people who helped me. If you want your username to be listed at the end of these videos, just message me after voting or click yes when I ask in these types of polls. Subscribe if you haven't already and click the bell button to be notified when the next Zodiac is out. We've got 11 more of these to go, and I'd love to have you on this art venture with me. That's it for today. Remember to be patient and positive, and bye bye!